Right. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in another stream. If you guys are new here in the morning, we come in, take a look at the overnight price action. We see what happened, what levels we held, what we didn't hold, and what price can do potentially going into that New York session. So let's take a look here. Let's see what we had. We'll start off. Start off on our higher time frame, right? We'll start off by looking at that 4 hours. You can see on the 4 hour we swept above this liquidity that we've had sitting here for a while. There's another one right there that we should outline probably. There we go. So looking on the 4 hour, let's see, I'm also typing this up inside our Discord. So going into today. So starting off, looking on the 4 hour, price has came up and swept the 25,705 level that we have outlined the day before. So here we are. Prices also trading above the previous 4 hour high, but does look like it is pulling back a little here. All right, so there is potential maybe for an outside 4 hour. Right, we're not gonna deny that possibility for ourselves and the potential that price could actually come back that way. We've put in quite a nice wick. There is still liquidity up above, right? 25 there. Let's see below though. We do have this fair value gap, right, that we can come back retest, although it is not within the fair value. This would be more within fair value. There is potential for us to come back, retest that previous daily high on those higher time frames, and then go from there. So below, we could be looking for any of the FEGs to show support for price to continue to the upside. Here's the thing. Right, we are above that 1550 EMA. We've talked about it before. As long as price remains above that 1550, we're trending to the upside. There's not necessarily anything that's like, oh yeah, we're done, you know, but there is that potential that price will still continue to trend to the upside. On the hourly, I am liking this wick that we've put in, like this consolidation, manipulation, right? Potential reversal back down into here. We have this hourly fair value gap. That price could come back down to retest within this range, within this whole overnight range, right? So if we outline this like that, there's PPT-OTE, there we go, right? 786 lined up with that previous daily high. So this is potential, right? On the hourly price, does look like it could give us a potential pullback, given the wick of the candle to the upside at 8 a.m. And for this, for us to reverse, price would need to remain below the closing price of the, so it would need to remain below the closing price of the 8 a.m. candle in order for price to break to the downside. On the downside, we are looking at the OTE of the overnight session. It does have a FEG in it that could be retested. Right, so there's that OTE. The price can potentially come down, retest that area, and see what it does from there. On the 15-minute, there's that previous 4-hour high, right, that we are kind of just struggling above. There is the OTE that we've outlined that's going to be there. Let's turn this off, see where we are at. Okay, cool. We got above that 25, 620, 75, 25, 616. There's this fair value gap below us that price could potentially tap into, right? So if we are looking for a continuation, we have a swing failure pivot. We would need to break back below this level right there for a continuation. We would look for something like this if we were looking for a bounce, right? There's that potential on the 15-minute. If we are looking to just break it down to the downside, then let's say maybe retest of that open, like this retest of the CISD, continuation to the downside, almost giving us a head and shoulders to the downside here on that 15-minute. So on the 15-minute, we have a potential to come back and form a form a HNS pattern, go into the downside if price decides to come back and retest the New York Open at 25, 692, 75, 25, 692, 25, 692, 75. The downside, if they do an initial drop, we are watching out for the FVG from. So if they do an initial drop, right, we're gonna watch for this fair value gap from 25, 645.75 to 25, 650, 25. So we got that one outlined on the bottom. Let's see what we got for liquidity. There's all of these, right, that we could. That's potential areas of opportunity, right? I'm not going to say this is exactly what we're targeting, but there are still decent enough areas that price could potentially reject. And from this, right, pull up my daily journal. According to the daily journal, Asia session range, London session manipulation, New York session potential reversal. Given that it is Tuesday, there is a 90% chance, I believe, or 80% according to Edgefool, that price could, fill the gap, the opening gap. So typically there is a potential to come back down to that daily open, which would play in with how the interaction between the Asia session and the London session went. So looking on the 5-minute and looking daily plan, there is potential for the New York session to retrace back down or come back to the daily open at 25, 575, 25. And that's all. This would be around the 12-hour levels on the downside, which need to show a break of them at 25, 6, 20, 75 / 25, 616 is, and these, and we can get to the daily open. Above, we also have a 12-hour level at, so 25,729 above is what we're going to be watching for, to see if price wants to reject that there. And that's all I got for today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. If you guys like these, give it a like, give it a share. Tell your mom about us. Like I said, the best way to support is just by sharing these and showing us support that way. If you want to, go check us out at www.papertutors.io. It's the best way to see what we're all about, things that we offer, anything of that nature. Go check us out on Twitter at the Paper Tutors. Check out Mr. Hazed at Hazed Beats. We got Fed Goalsby speaking at 7:45 or 15 minutes into market open. Then another Goalsby 8:15, a FOMC member. A lot of Goalsby speaking today. So it's one thing. Other than that, that will do for today. We'll see you later tonight for the review. Peace out.
IMS.